Apparently the Falcons division winner at plus 260. Look, I'm sort of kind of beating a dead horse, so to speak, or beating a dead bird, beating a dirty bird, I guess it would be.
A dirty bird.
Beating a dirty bird here. Because these are things that I've mentioned throughout the season, but that tends to be a trend. I try to be consistent with, you find your approach, you find the stuff you like, and then you want to stay on it. And especially like in the last 2 years, I've been tricked out of picking an accurate Super Bowl winner of the team I wanted to win the Super Bowl by someone maybe on this podcast with his shenanigans. And so I'm not going to shy away from. I don't shy away from leaning in to what I think will happen in the NFL season. And I think the Falcons are going to be a pretty good football team this year. Breech talked about the Titans and Derrick Henry. I think this is going to be the Tennessee light, and that we are going to see Bijan Robinson, who's I professed my undying love for this rookie running back, come in and be Arthur Smith's version of Derrick Henry. You got fresh legs. You still have plenty of depth there. We saw Tyler Algier, a rookie last year, play well in that system. So I think it's an easy system to pick up. You got signed Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry to new deals, so they have consistency on the offensive line. And then Desmond Ridder is not going to magically turn into Tom Brady or like freaking 2004 Peyton Manning all of a sudden overnight, but he fits very similarly with what we saw from Ryan Tannehill in Tennessee, and then they added a lot to the defense. I just saw a lot of improvements in Atlanta. I think at almost 3-1, you're getting some really good value here on the Falcons to win the division.
I can't disagree. I feel like the NFC South is where the money is to be made this year. If you can kind of point to a team that's going to win it, they're all plus money, whether you bet the Saints at plus 115, Brinson's bet the Falcons at plus 260, the Panthers at plus 330. The fact that the Falcons somehow just kind of snuck their way to 7-10, they added Bijan Robinson, as Brinson said. The Panthers have that huge question mark with Bryce Young. You don't know what they're going to look like. Who knows what's going to happen in New Orleans? We've seen quarterbacks switch teams and not play well. It's sure Derek Carr has his buddy John Gruden coming in, helping him learn the offense, but who knows if that's actually going to help. So Brinson, unlike your Bills pick where I wasn't fervently on board with, I like this one a lot.
My biggest concern is honestly the Carolina Panthers. And it's still like the Saints could be decent too. But I actually saw, I think it was Ian Hartitz of PFF, or I think it was PFF, maybe my fantasy life, whichever one it is now. He put up a PFF screenshot of, it was like two quarterbacks. Like, can you guess who these two quarterbacks are? It's like the better graded one was Andy Dalton. The lower graded one was Derek Carr from last year, which I just think is an interesting thing and only helps to beef up Breech's approval of my pick.
Brinson, what is the Brinson model? Well, one, how many wins do you have the Falcons getting? And just also like in division, do you think they're splitting games with, say, the Saints and the Panthers, or do you think they could sweep anybody?
I'm glad you asked that, Katie. Of course, I do have the Brinson model handy. Did you tell me? Somebody was telling me a different name for the Brinson model. It's like the Brinson method, maybe.
I like model.
I like model because I like people to know that this is a high level, very proprietary projection system. Here's what I have for the Falcons. They've been beating Carolina at home in week 1. They lose at Tampa Bay. They win at home against New Orleans, win at home against Tampa Bay, lose at Carolina, and lose at New Orleans. So a straight split for the Falcons, who I get to 10 wins without, by just splitting in the division. And again, and actually, it's a great question by you because it comes back to the, the whole thing about them having a pretty choice schedule, because Carolina, Green Bay to start, at Detroit, at Jacksonville, I have both losses. Houston at home is a W. Washington, I even give a W at home, a loss at home against Washington. At Tampa Bay, a loss, as I mentioned. I mean, there's just a lot of chances for this Falcons team to pile up wins if they're solid defensively and an elite rushing team, which I think they can be.